Hello and welcome to another video from the only channel you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. And today's video is just going to be me explaining where I've been. I haven't made a video in about 3 months, and a lot of people are asking me about things, you know, what if anything was wrong, and no, nothing is wrong, really. I just have had a little bit of trouble. First thing that happened was my car broke down. And right after that, my computer broke down. So I really didn't have any way to post or edit videos. And I couldn't get my computer fixed until I got my car fixed. Well, I got my car fixed. But since I couldn't go anywhere and I couldn't really do anything with my computer, I spent the time cleaning my house. It's been about over 2 years since I cleaned my house. And I feel really, really good now because I'm in a clean house. But when I got my computer fixed, I fixed it with a different operating system called Ubuntu. And thank you to whichever subscriber recommended that to me, because I really love it. I just have to figure out how to use it. In fact, I can't even figure out how to enlarge my text document, so I got to use a magnifying glass to read this thing. And I've already told people I have really bad eyes. But anyways, when I did fix the computer, all I could do is browse the web and respond to messages and send and receive emails. But I spent that time doing research for a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time that I knew was going to take a lot of research. And I've been working on just one aspect of this video for 2 weeks now, and it's going to probably take me another 2 weeks to figure it all out. And the reason for that is, well, if you're watching this video, you know I probably am able to upload video now. But anyways, the video that I want to do is about the book of Revelation. And I really couldn't see any way to do the video about Revelation without doing a video about angels, demons, and humans. And so we're going to do a series called of angels and men, because in the Bible, the interactions between angels and demons and humans are very dynamic, but they're kind of coded. In other words, and here's just some examples. When Jesus came to the earth, he said that the people looked to him like sheep without a shepherd. And that was actually a reference to angels and demons and humans. And I'm not going to explain how right now, but you'll figure it out later. He also said that he was the fine shepherd. Same thing. And he also said that when he returned, that he would separate the sheep from the goats. Well, he actually didn't say that. What he said was he would separate the probaton from the erophos. And in Greek, those words do not mean sheep and goats, although they do involve sheep and goats. And I'll explain what I'm talking about. The translators of the Bible, the King James Bible, work for the church. And there's a lot in the Bible they didn't want us to find out about. And so they switched words around to trick us. Just as and here's what I'm working on right now. When you're dealing with sheep and goats, animal husbandry words are very, very specific. In other words, people that raise sheep and goats don't just call them sheep and goats or the flock. They have one word that's very specific to a baby goat that is not the same as a word for a baby sheep. They would have a word for a female goat that's not the same as a word for a male goat. And a female goat that's given birth is a different word than a female goat that hasn't given birth. A male goat that's castrated has a different name than a male goat that isn't castrated, and so on and so forth. But you can see, I've found probably 30 terms about sheep and goats in the Bible. The problem is, when you go to the concordance and look them up, you'll find that they're not translated the same way every time. It's almost like the translators mixed and matched them, but they did it with a purpose. They're trying to hide something from us. And as an example, one of the words in there is son, T-S-O-N, and I think it's actually Hassan. It's Strong's number H6629, and this word is translated as sheep, sometimes as flock, sometimes as cattle. And there is no way that someone raising sheep and goats would not know the difference between a sheep or a flock or cattle. So it can only be one of those. So what I'm doing is I'm taking every single word in the Bible that has anything to do with sheep or goats or cows or shepherds or the housing for flock animals, and I'm comparing them. And right now I have downloaded and copied and pasted and write about 1,000 scriptures, because I'm trying to do some detective work here. I want to find out what really is a goat and what really is a sheep. What is the difference between a young female and an old female, because all of this comes into play later. Every time sheep and goats are spoken of metaphorically, they're telling us about interactions between demons, angels, and humans, and these are incredibly important to understanding the Bible. So, and just as an example, I'm not just throwing this out there to try to fit my agenda. I'm actually trying to learn the truth. I'm trying to find out what these words really were. And it goes very deep. I mean, I'm having to go into Arabic dictionaries and Greek dictionaries and Hebrew dictionaries and try to find modern words that somehow compare to these ancient words. And just as an example, this is a simple one. It's easy to understand. There's a word called Gedi. In Hebrew, it's Gedi. And we're told several things about it from the concordance, that it comes from the word for female goat, or that it's a goat, or it is a baby goat, or it is a baby male goat. Well, from reading it, everywhere that it appears, I can put together different aspects that are obvious from the scripture to find out, exactly what this is. So we have one scripture that says, "Do not boil a Gedi in his mother's milk." So from that you think, well, if it's young enough to still be nursing, it must be a very young goat. And if they call it his mother's milk, then this goat would be male. A Gedi would be male. But when you look it up in the Hebrew, that scripture does not say that. It says, "Do not boil a Gedi in its mother's milk." The his was just added by the King James Bible. And several other scriptures. There's a scripture that talks about a group of men going to bring food to somebody, and it explains what these men are carrying. One man is carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another man is carrying 3 Gedis. Now, if a Gedi was a full-grown goat, then the men would have divided them so that there would be other men carrying 1 goat each. But they're carrying these 3. This one man's carrying 3, so they have to be a very small goat. And that's the. I just want you to understand, I'm actually doing research. I'm not just trying to make this fit my story. Now, once we determine that that is a baby goat, see, now that opens up a way to determine what other animals are in the Bible. Like if you see a scripture about a Gedi, and it talks about his mother, and it uses a term to describe the mother, then we can take and figure that that term is a female goat that is of childbearing or baby-bearing age, reproducing age. So that's what I'm doing, and I think at this point I have all the information I need. I could produce this video and probably not have a problem, but I find that nowadays if I make even the slightest mistake, somebody will just harp on that all day. So you got to cross your I's and dot your T's, so to speak, so that way you don't have to go back later and change all your I's to W's. Because I really hate doing that. I don't like looking stupid, and if you jump on something too quick, you can say just one thing that'll make you look really stupid. But in any case, I just hope that you're excited about this. You're going to learn things. Here's a problem. If you're going to church, when I make these videos, if you listen to them, you're not going to be able to unhear them. The things I show you, you're not going to be able to unsee them. So it's going to be hard for you, because you're going to have to make a choice of whether to keep going to these churches that are consistently feeding you lies to keep you in fear, or to separate yourself from that church. Now, if you're a person who's going to church because you want to learn the truth, these videos are going to be wonderful for you. You'll have no problem leaving the church. And not only that, but once this series is done, we'll go into the next series. At that point, you're not going to know everything, but the Bible will be an open book for you. This last series I make will be all that you need to understand every word of the Bible for yourself. So you won't need the churches. You won't need a support system, and we can support each other. And that's what keeps me sane, is having people to interact with on the internet. And I'm going to tell you something. Recently, I have had 3 different subscribers that have come and told me things about my series Written in Stone, about the calendar change and the moon change and the all-seeing eye, that are just blowing my mind. So I'm learning a lot from people that watch my videos. I'm not just like the master teacher. So anyways, make sure to, and if somebody else uses Linux and you want to spend some time teaching me how to use it, because I'd like to at least be able to inflate the letters on this text document, feel free to just let me know. And if you don't want to survive, don't listen to me.